Brett Lorenzo Favre FARV, born October 10, 1969, is an American former football quarterback who played in the National Football League for 20 seasons, primarily with the Green Bay Packers. Favre had 321 consecutive starts from 1992 to 2010, including 297 regular season games, the most in league history. He was also the first NFL quarterback to obtain 70,000 yards, 10,000 passes, 6,000 completions, 500 touchdowns, 200 wins, and victories over all 32 teams. Favre played college football at Southern Miss and was selected in the second round of the 1991 NFL Draft by the Atlanta Falcons, where he spent one season as a backup. Traded to the Packers, he became their starter early in the 1992 season and revitalized a franchise that had been in a period of decline since the late 1960s. During his 16 seasons with Green Bay, he led the team to 11 playoff appearances, 7 division titles, 4 NFC championship games, 2 consecutive Super Bowl appearances, and 1 championship title in Super Bowl XXXI, the team's first in nearly 3 decades. Favre was traded in 2008 to the New York Jets, where he played 1 year, and spent his final 2 seasons with the Minnesota Vikings. His 2009 campaign for the Vikings saw him guide them to a division title and NFC championship game appearance, while having one of his strongest statistical seasons. At the time of his retirement, Favre was the NFL leader in passing yards, passing touchdowns, and quarterback wins. He has held the league records for interceptions and fumbles, in addition to his consecutive starts. From 1995 to 1997, he was named Most Valuable Player 3 times, the most the award was consecutively received. Favre also received 11 Pro Bowl and 3 first-team All-Pro selections. He was inducted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2016. In 2022, Favre made headlines for his involvement in the Mississippi Welfare Funds scandal. Investigations found that a total of $8 million meant for welfare programs went to Favre or causes that Favre championed. Early life. Brett Favre was born in Gulfport, Mississippi, the son of Bonita Ann and Irvin Ernest Favre, and raised in the small town of Kill. Both of his parents were school teachers in the Hancock County School District. He is of part French ancestry. One of his ancestors is Simon Favre, a Creole and an influential figure in Spanish West Florida in the late 18th and early 19th centuries. Brett descends from Simon's Choctaw Native American mistress, Pistakshokona, and thus his grandfather was affiliated with the Choctaw. Brett was the second of 4 children and attended Hancock North Central High School, where he played baseball and football. Favre started for the Hancock North Central baseball team as an 8th grader and earned 5 varsity letters. He played quarterback, lineman, strong safety, place kicker, and punter in a primarily option, run-oriented offense coached by his father, Irvin Favre, who was the head coach of the Hawks football team. Irvin Favre said he knew his son had a great arm but also knew that the school was blessed with good running backs. As a result, in the 3 years Brett was on the team, his father ran the wishbone, a run-oriented offense. Favre rarely threw more than 5 passes in a game. Southern Mississippi assistant coach Mark McHale, who was scouting new football recruits for the school, watched Favre play during a Hancock North Central football game after receiving recommendation from many nearby coaches. McHale, observing Favre mostly hand the ball off in running plays in the 2 games he watched, was set on leaving when he suddenly saw Favre throw the ball in such a captivating way that he later described it by saying the ball had smoke and flames coming off it. College career. After high school, Southern Mississippi offered Favre a football scholarship at the urging of assistant coach McHale, which was the only one he received. Southern Miss wanted him to play defensive back, but Favre wanted to play quarterback instead. Favre began his freshman year as the seventh-string quarterback and took over the starting position in the second half of the third game of the year against Tulane on September 19, 1987. Favre, despite suffering a hangover from the night before and vomiting during warm ups, led the Golden Eagles to a come-from-behind victory with 2 touchdown passes. Favre started 10 games during his freshman year and won 6 of them. In his junior season, Favre led the Golden Eagles to an upset of number 6 Florida State on September 2, 1989. Favre capped a 6.5-minute drive with the game-winning touchdown pass with 23 seconds remaining. On July 14, 1990, before the start of Favre's senior year at Southern Miss, he was involved in a nearly fatal car accident. When going around a bend a few tenths of a mile from his parents' house, Favre lost control of his car, which flipped 3 times and came to rest against a tree. It was only after one of his brothers smashed a car window with a golf club that Favre could be evacuated and rushed to the hospital. In the ambulance, his mother was sitting with him. "All I kept asking was, will I be able to play football again?" Favre recalled later. Doctors would later remove 30 inches of Favre's small intestine. 8 weeks after this incident, on September 8, Favre led Southern Miss to a comeback victory over Alabama. Alabama coach Gene Stallings said, "You can call it a miracle or a legend or whatever you want to. I just know that on that day, Brett Favre was larger than life." Favre formerly held several Southern Miss football records until most were surpassed by Austin Davis by the end of the 2011 season. Favre had 15 games over his career where he compiled more than 200 passing yards, making him 4th in school history on the all-time list in that category. Of those 15 games, 5 were 300-yard games, the most compiled by any of the school's quarterbacks. Additionally, he was the seasonal leader in total passing and total offense in all 4 of his seasons at Southern Miss. Favre earned a teaching degree with an emphasis in special education from the University of Southern Mississippi. College statistics. Professional career. Atlanta Falcons. Favre was drafted by the Atlanta Falcons in the 2nd round with the 33rd overall pick in the 1991 NFL Draft. On July 19, 1991, Favre agreed to a 3-year, $1.4 million contract with a reported signing bonus of $350,000. Atlanta head coach Jerry Glanville did not approve of the drafting of Favre, saying it would take a plane crash for him to put Favre into the game. Favre's first pass in an NFL regular season game resulted in an interception returned for a touchdown in a Week 11 game against the Washington Redskins. He only attempted 4 passes in his 1 season at Atlanta, was intercepted twice, and completed none of them. Favre took 1 other snap, which resulted in a sack for an 11-yard loss. Green Bay Packers. On February 11, 1992, Green Bay Packers general manager Ron Wolf traded the first-round pick his team had received from the Philadelphia Eagles in a trade the previous year to the Atlanta Falcons in exchange for Favre. Wolf, while an assistant to the general manager of the New York Jets, had intended to take Favre in the 1991 NFL Draft, but Favre was taken by the Falcons on the previous pick. According to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel and other sources, during the physical after the trade, Favre was diagnosed with avascular necrosis of the hip, the same degenerative condition that ended running back Bo Jackson's football career, and doctors recommended his physical be failed, which would nullify the trade. Wolf overruled them. Favre played 16 seasons in Green Bay. During his time with the Packers, Favre was the first and only NFL player to win 3 consecutive AP MVP awards. He helped the Packers appear in 2 Super Bowls, winning Super Bowl XXXI and losing Super Bowl XXXII. Favre started every Packers game from September 20, 1992 to January 20, 2008, a streak of 253 games. The record would continue after he left the Packers, reaching 297 games in the regular season. This remains the all-time record for consecutive starts in the NFL. Beginnings: MVP and Super Bowl seasons. Mid-career. Later career and personal tragedies. Milestone season. Retirements and returns. New York Jets. After negotiations with both the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and New York Jets, the Packers traded Favre to the Jets on August 7, 2008, in exchange for a conditional fourth-round pick in the 2009 NFL Draft with performance escalation. In his Jets debut, Favre passed for 194 yards and 2 touchdowns in a 2014 victory over the Miami Dolphins. In Week 4, he threw 6 touchdowns against the Arizona Cardinals, a personal best and one shy of the NFL record for a single game. This performance led to him being selected as the FedEx Air Player of the Week. By Week 12, the Jets had compiled an 8-3 record, including a 34-13 win over the previously undefeated Tennessee Titans. However, the Jets lost 4 of the last 5 games of the season, including the final game against the Miami Dolphins, who had acquired quarterback Chad Pennington after he was released from the Jets to make room for Favre. In those 5 games, Favre threw 8 interceptions and only 2 touchdown passes, bringing his season total to 22 of each. Favre had complained of shoulder pain and had an MRI performed on December 29, 2008, which revealed a torn biceps tendon in his right shoulder. After the 2008 season had ended, in mid-January 2009, Favre told Jets general manager Mike Tannenbaum, "It may be time to look in a different direction regarding the quarterback position." On February 11, 2009, Favre informed the Jets that he was retiring after 18 seasons. He remained part of the Jets organization until April 28, 2009, when the Jets released Favre from his contract, thus allowing him to sign anywhere he wanted. By May 2009, he was officially cut from the Jets' reserve/retired list. In September 2009, it was revealed that the NFL learned that the Jets were aware that Favre injured his arm in the 11th game of the 2008 season, and fined the Jets $125,000 for not reporting the injury in any of the Jets' 5 final games. Minnesota Vikings. NFC Championship run. Final season. Post-NFL health issues. In 2013, Favre was asked to consider returning to the NFL to play for the injury-plagued St. Louis Rams. He turned down the offer, telling WSPZ Radio in Washington, D.C. that he has had memory loss and that he feared it was related to the multiple concussions he suffered throughout his career. He was previously asked in a 2009 interview with NBC how many times he had played with a concussion that with the new standards would have resulted in him sitting out. "A lot," he replied. In 2021, Favre was featured in a PSA urging parents not to allow their children to play tackle football under age 14. And in an interview with Today, Favre stated that while he is in good health, he often questions how healthy he really is due to fears about the long-term effects of his playing career and that he is unsure whether the cognitive lapses he sometimes experiences are a natural effect of his advancing age or a sign that he may have CTE. Post-NFL career analyst work. Favre was the analyst for his alma mater, Southern Miss, when they played the Rice Owls on October 1, 2011. He later joined the NFL Network for pre-game coverage of Super Bowl LXVIII. It has also been reported that Favre has turned down repeated offers from the NFL Network to become an on-air analyst. Career achievements. Honors and awards. Favre has received several awards including 3 times Associated Press Most Valuable Player, 11 times Pro Bowl selection, 6 times first or second team All-Pro selection, NFL 1990s All-Decade Team. NFL 100th Anniversary All-Time Team. Pro Football Hall of Fame Class of 2016. Green Bay Packers Hall of Fame Class of 2015. Records and milestones. Favre owns several NFL records including, but not limited to, most consecutive games started Ironman streak, 297. Most pass interceptions, 336. Favre owns a number of team records with the Packers, Vikings, and Jets, including having printed his name into almost every passing category in the annals of Green Bay Packers history. Favre is the holder of several firsts in NFL history, including the only quarterback to win 3 consecutive NFL Most Valuable Player awards, first quarterback to defeat all of the league's 32 franchises, and the first quarterback to win a playoff game over age 40. In addition, Favre set a number of college records with Southern Mississippi. Cold weather success. Favre has been known as the most successful cold weather quarterback of all time, having compiled a record of 44-17 in games when the game time temperature was below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. He had gained the reputation for success in cold weather when the Packers won with Favre as the starter in his first 35 games at home when the game time temperature was 34 degrees Fahrenheit or less. NFL rivalry records. Brett Favre had significant stretches of success against his division rivals, having won an NFL record 11 consecutive road games against the Chicago Bears, and a perfect 19-0-1 lost record against the Detroit Lions at home, also an NFL record. Consecutive starts streak. Since first being named the starter of the Green Bay Packers before playing the Pittsburgh Steelers on September 27, 1992, Favre had never missed a game spanning over 18 plus 1-2 consecutive seasons. He holds the record for the most consecutive starts by any player in the NFL with 297, which is one of 4 quarterback streaks of at least 200 consecutive games in NFL history. Favre has stated that of all the records he set, he is most proud of the consecutive starts accomplishment. Favre failed to finish a game due to injury on only 8 occasions since taking control of the Packers as quarterback. Significant injuries suffered by Favre during the streak includes a first-degree shoulder separation, deep thigh bruise, severely bruised left hip, severely sprained left ankle, wind knocked out coupled with coughing up blood, sprained right thumb, right elbow tendinitis, left midfoot sprain, sprained lateral collateral ligament of the left knee, broken left thumb, softball-sized bruise of the left hamstring, mild concussion, sprained right hand, injured ulnar nerve of the right elbow, bone, spurs on the left ankle, torn right biceps, pulled groin, stress fracture of the left ankle coupled with an avulsion fracture of calcaneus, and a sprained sternoclavicular joint of the right shoulder. During Favre's consecutive starts streak, 238 other quarterbacks have started in the NFL, 17 of them being back UPS to Favre at one point. The Pro Football Hall of Fame has as an exhibit displaying the jersey Favre wore during his record-breaking 117th consecutive start as a quarterback, and a section of their website devoted to what the Hall of Fame calls an Iron Man. In 2009, Favre surpassed defensive end Jim Marshall for starts at any position with his record-breaking 271st start as a quarterback as the Vikings played the Lions. His streak ended at 297, with the last start in the streak coming on December 5, 2010, against the Buffalo Bills. Favre was unable to start the Vikings' December 13 game against the New York Giants due to a shoulder injury, despite the game being delayed for a day because of the collapse of the Metrodome roof. NFL career statistics. Regular season. Postseason. Retirement speculation. 2002, in September, sports writer Peter King conducted an interview with Favre during spring training. Favre told him that he missed home and was thinking more and more about retirement. When then head coach Mike Sherman told the players they could have off on Saturday and Sunday, Favre replied, "I wish I could be on my lawnmower back home." 2003, Favre was constantly asked about retirement throughout the early part of the year. Favre jokingly responded by saying, "I can't even remember how the whole retirement thing started, but whoever started it needs to be shot." 2005, after the Packers got off to a slow start, rumors that Favre might retire started to escalate. Favre responded by saying at 03, "I think most people would say, oh, he's gone after this year, or they won't even want him back. I don't even think about when that time might come." 2006, in an interview with ESPN in January, after the Packers had finished with a 4-12 record, Favre admitted that if he had to make a decision right away he would not come back. He went on to say, "There's other days I go, what if it's crunch time, 2 minutes left, do you want the ball? I don't know if I do." In March, Favre hears Phil Simms say on Sirius Radio that as long as Favre can physically play the game, he should. Shortly thereafter, Favre confirms he would return to play. After the Packers defeated the Chicago Bears the last game of the season 26-7, Favre choked up during an interview with Andrea Creamer by saying, "If today's my last game, I want to remember it. It's tough. It's tough. I'll miss these guys. I'll miss this game. I just want everyone to know that I didn't plan on doing this." Way to put me on the spot. Asked if he was indeed going to retire, Favre responded, "We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to say anything right now." After the game, a Packers teammate said that Favre was just as emotional in a speech after the Seattle Seahawks game in 2005 at Lambeau Field when he was all but certain he was going to retire. 2007, in February, Favre told the Biloxi Sun-Herald that he plans to come back for another season with the Packers. 2008, in early March, Favre announced that he is retiring from the Green Bay Packers. At a news conference he said, "I know I can play, but I don't think I want to. It's been a great career for me, but it's over. As they say, all good things must come to an end. I look forward to whatever the future may hold for me." Later in the month, Favre has second thoughts and wants to return. According to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, Favre backed out of a meeting with Packers management 2 days before re-entry talks were to begin. In April, Sam Farmer from the Los Angeles Times reported that Favre's agent Bus Cook was making inquiries to other teams about Favre. Favre responded by saying, "I have no idea where that came from, but it certainly didn't come from me. I'm happy about my decision and I haven't once said I wonder if I made the wrong decision. I know it's the right one. It's kind of funny. Even when I'm retired, they won't let me stay retired." Also in April, the Packers placed Favre on the reserve retired list and planned to have Favre's number retired during the season opener against the Minnesota Vikings. In June, Favre said he told head coach Mike McCarthy he wanted to come back to the team. He said when he picked up the phone again after he dropped it, he said, "Oh, God, Brett. You're putting us in a tight spot." He said, "Brett, playing here is not an option." Those were his exact words. In July, Favre sent a letter requesting his release from the Packers. A couple months earlier, Favre contacted Mike McCarthy about coming out of retirement and was rebuffed according to a Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel report. Then a report came in from ESPN that said that Favre had wanted to come out of retirement but the Packers were reluctant to take him back. The Packers refused to give Favre an unconditional release. A few days later, Favre had an interview with Greta Van Susteren of Fox News where he accused general manager Ted Thompson of forcing him to make a decision on his return to the team too quickly. 2 days after the interview, the Packers filed tampering charges with the NFL front office, charging that the Minnesota Vikings had inappropriate contact with Favre. The Packers then offered Favre a retirement package of $25 million marketing agreement to remain retired. This offer was rejected and Favre was subsequently traded to the New York Jets. 2009, in February, Favre said he retired, although his agent Bus Cook asked for his release from the New York Jets. After the Jets released him in April, Bus Cook emailed Jared Bell of USA Today that he's retired, working on his farm in Mississippi. In May, Minnesota Vikings head coach Brad Childress set up a meeting with Favre to discuss him possibly playing with the team. In July, Childress said Favre would not be coming out of retirement. However, in August Favre announced he would come back and play for the Vikings. 2010, on February 7, Favre appeared in a second-quarter Super Bowl XLIV ad for Hyundai parodying his retirement indecisiveness. In the ad, set after the 2020 NFL season, a great 50-year-old Favre accepts the season MVP award and ponders retirement, but cannot commit one way or the other. In April, Favre indicated that if it were not for his Vikings teammates and fans, it would be easy to retire. In early August, Favre's ankle had not responded after surgery and rehabilitation. As a result, he informed the team that he would not be coming back for another season. However, 2 weeks later he told teammates Jared Allen, Steve Hutchinson, and Ryan Longwell he was coming back for another season. 2011, in January, Favre filed retirement papers with the NFL. In December, a report from ESPN Chicago indicated that Favre would be open to coming back from retirement if the Chicago Bears were interested. However, head coach Lovie Smith and Favre denied the report. Favre said, in spite of reports about playing with various teams, "I'm enjoying retirement with my family and have no plans to play football." 2013, Favre's agent Bus Cook indicated early in the season that Favre could still play in the NFL. When asked about what his agent said, Favre responded, "I am, but I am no way considering playing. The stress level was much more. The demands are, don't get me wrong, I want to win, but it's not a job." A few weeks later, in late October, the St. Louis Rams called Favre after their starting quarterback Sam Bradford was lost for the season, but Favre declined their offer to bring him out of retirement. 2017, following Aaron Rodgers breaking his collarbone Week 6 against the Vikings, former ESPN reporter Ed Werder asked Favre if he would come back for the rest of the 2017 season. "Absolutely not," Favre said. Personal life. Family. Favre married Deanna Tynes on July 14, 1996. Together, they have 2 daughters, Brittany and Brulai. While Favre was still playing, Brittany gave birth to his first grandchild. The NFL stated that at the time it did not know of any other active players with grandchildren. Favre's mother, Bonita, helps manage his holdings in agriculture and real estate, handle his endorsements and appearances, and oversee his charity work. Brett and Bonita Favre released a book in 2004 titled Favre, which discusses their family as well as the Green Bay Packers, including the Monday Night Football game that followed the death of Brett's father Irvin Favre. Favre's nephew, Dylan, played quarterback for the Cedar Rapids Titans of the Indoor Football League in 2016 after playing in college at Mississippi State, Pearl River Community College, and the University of Tennessee Martin. High school coaching. In 2012, Favre became the offensive coordinator for Oak Grove High School. Favre won his first game as part of the Oak Grove coaching staff by a score of 64-6. In December 2013, with Favre still serving as the offensive coordinator, Oak Grove High School won the Class 6A Mississippi High School State Championship. In May 2014, it was announced that Favre would continue to help out at Oak Grove, but would no longer be offensive coordinator. Charitable work. Favre established the Brett Favre Forward Foundation in 1996. In conjunction with his annual golf tournament, celebrity softball game and fundraising dinners, the foundation has donated more than $2 million to charities in his home state of Mississippi as well as to those in his adopted state of Wisconsin. Favre is involved with youth who are ill. Favre was awarded the Chris Griceus Celebrity Award from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. He is also known to respond to requests made to his foundation regarding youth with serious illnesses such as cancer. Business. In 1999, Favre worked with NASCAR driver Dale Jarrett to operate Jarrett/Favre Motorsports in the Busch Series, which lasted 2 seasons. The Favre family once owned and operated the Brett Favre's Steakhouse and later changed names to the Hall of Fame Chop House, located in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and as of 2018 is closed. In 2013, Favre joined the board of directors of Skr, a sports social media platform. Favre's role includes product ambassador, sports insights, and advising Skr on business interests with teams, leagues and sports conferences. Entertainment. Favre made a cameo appearance in the 1998 romantic comedy film There's Something About Mary as Cameron Diaz's character's former love interest. Endorsements. In the past, Favre has been a spokesperson for multiple companies, including Nike, Snapper, Remington, Sears, Prilosec, Sensodyne, MasterCard, Wrangler, Bergstrom Automotive, and Hyundai. He currently appears in TV ads for Copper Fit. Advocates no tackle football under age 14. In a 2021 PSA, Favre recommended to parents that they not allow their children to play tackle football under the age of 14. This PSA was made in partnership with the Concussion Legacy Foundation. Politics. Prior to the Mississippi runoff election on June 24, 2014, Favre endorsed the incumbent Republican U.S. Senator Thad Cochran in his race against State Senator Chris McDaniel, a Tea Party favorite. For the 2020 United States presidential election, Favre endorsed President Donald Trump for re-election. Religion. Favre is a Roman Catholic and credits his faith for facing adversity throughout his life. Controversies. Violations of NFL's personal conduct policies. In 1996, Favre was temporarily banned by the NFL from drinking alcohol, after he admitted he was addicted to Vicodin, and spent 46 days at a drug rehab clinic before the start of the season. His condition was serious enough that he had a potentially deadly seizure. Sexting allegations and investigation. In 2010, the NFL investigated Favre for allegedly sexting and leaving inappropriate voice messages for Jets game day host Jen Sturger during the 2008 season. According to the NFL, forensic analysis failed to prove Favre sent the objectionable photographs to Sturger. Favre was found not to be in violation of the NFL's personal conduct policy, but was fined $50,000 for failing to cooperate with the investigation. Mississippi Welfare Funds scandal. In 2020, Favre's involvement with the development and promotion of a concussion treatment drug, Prevazol, by the previous ACUS Corporation, came under scrutiny. The nonprofit Mississippi Community Education Center received $2.5 million in federal grant funds diverted from Mississippi's Temporary Assistance for Needy Families Welfare Funds, as well as tens of millions in public funds as an element of the scheme. The Mississippi State Auditor has termed the scheme the largest public embezzlement case in state history. A grand jury in Hinds County indicted MCEC founder, Nancy New, and her son Zach in the scheme. Favre had introduced MCEC's founders to top state welfare officials. Former Governor Phil Bryant is also involved in the scandal. No-show speaking fees.